Hey everyone, and welcome. Today, we're diving into a skill that is, no joke, a total game changer. It's something that can save you a ton of time and lead to way, way better products. We're talking about the art of low-fidelity wireframing. Okay, let me ask you something. Have you ever done this? You spend like a whole hour agonizing over the perfect shade of blue or the exact right font for a button, only to realize 10 minutes later that the button shouldn't even be on that page? Yeah. We've all been there. It's a classic trap. And that right there, that's the core of the problem. When we jump straight into making things look pretty, we get attached to them. It's our baby. We don't want to hear that it's wrong. And so we stop exploring other, maybe much better ideas. But there's a much smarter way to do this. What we need to do is shift our brain away from how it looks and focus first on how it works. Think about it like you're building a house. You don't show up on day one and start picking out paint colors for the walls, right? Of course not. You start with the blueprint. It really is the perfect analogy. A low-fidelity wireframe is that foundational plan. It's not about the fancy faucets or the hardwood floors yet. It's about making sure the walls are in the right place and that you can actually walk from the kitchen to the bedroom without hitting a dead end. So what is it exactly? Well, think of it as a super basic sketch. It's all about answering the big, important questions. What stuff goes on this screen? What's the most important thing here? And how does a person actually move through this thing to get what they want? In short, it's all function, zero polish. And this is why I call it a superpower. Seriously, you can sketch out 10 different ideas in the time it would take you to make one pretty design. Getting feedback is suddenly easy because nobody feels bad about criticizing a quick doodle. And the best part, you find all the big, glaring problems when they're still cheap and easy to fix, way before anyone writes a single line of code. This table really lays it all out. Lo-fi is for the beginning. It's fast, it's messy, it's all about the bones, the structure. Hi-fi, that comes much later. That's when you get detailed, polished, and focus on the final look and feel. You need both, for sure, but you have to start with lo-fi. All right, so you're probably thinking, this sounds great, but how do I actually do it? The answer is beautifully, wonderfully simple. You just sketch. No fancy software needed. Just grab a pen and paper, maybe a whiteboard, that's it. And this is the mantra. Repeat it to yourself over and over. Function before form, speed before style. Your goal here is not to create a museum-worthy piece of art. The goal is to get ideas out of your head and onto the paper as fast as you possibly can. And listen, you do not need to be an artist. The visual language here is so simple. A box with a big X through it, that's an image. A bunch of straight lines, that's your text. A circle, cool, that's an icon or maybe a profile picture. See? Anybody can do this. You can learn this in like 30 seconds. And here are a few pro tips for you. Never, ever sketch just one idea. Force yourself to come up with at least 3 different ways to do it. If you mess up, don't even think about erasing it. Just start a new sketch. This whole thing is about moving forward. And remember this, always, a bad sketch is 1,000,000 times more valuable than no sketch at all. Now, even though we're talking about rough sketches, it's not total chaos. These sketches are actually guided by some really basic design rules that help them make sense. Let's walk through the 4 big ones. First up, visual hierarchy. This is just a fancy way of saying make the most important thing on the screen look like the most important thing. You can do this with size, like making your main headline way bigger than everything else, or with position by putting that Buy Now button right where someone's eyes are going to go. Next is proximity. Our brains are kind of lazy. They automatically think that things placed close to each other must be related. So if you put a photo right next to its caption or a price right next to an add to cart button, you're making it so much easier for the user to understand what's going on. Alignment is what brings a sense of calm and order to the page. When all your elements line up along an invisible grid, the whole screen just feels clean, organized, and super easy to scan. The second things are misaligned, even by a little bit, it just creates this feeling of messiness and confusion. And finally, we have white space. Please, please do not think of this as wasted space. It's an active, powerful tool. It's the breathing room around your text and your images. It's what keeps the user from feeling totally overwhelmed and makes everything easier to read. So we have the techniques, we have the principles. Now let's bring it all back to the one thing that truly matters, the user's goal. Because look, a wireframe without a clear purpose, It's just a meaningless collection of boxes and lines. This is the question. You have to ask this before you even think about picking up that pen. What is the one single thing you want a person to do on this screen? Is it to sign up for a newsletter, to watch a video, to buy something? Every single decision you make has to serve that one goal. Use this as your guide. First, what's the main action? Okay, now what information do they absolutely need to see to be able to take that action? Great! That information is now your most important element. Everything else on the screen is secondary to that. Now, I want to talk about something that is so important and is so often left until the very end, which is a huge mistake. We're talking about accessibility, making sure that everyone can use your product. This is not a final coat of paint you add at the end. It starts right here with the structure. Even in a rough, messy sketch, you can plan for this stuff. Are you leaving enough space for those buttons so they're easy to tap on a phone? Are your labels clear and descriptive, or are they just confusing icons? Are you even thinking about what the screen looks like when something goes wrong? Getting this right now will save you from massive headaches down the road. And that really brings us home. If there's one thing you take away from all this, let it be this. Before you ever worry about fonts and colors, you have to worry about the bones of your idea. A beautiful-looking interface built on a weak, confusing structure will always fail. But a strong, user-focused structure, well, that's the foundation for a truly great experience.
Like, share, and subscribe.